Most seniors who choose the wrong nuts honestly believe they're making smart choices for their health. But the truth is far more surprising than anyone realizes. Some of the nuts you've been told are superfoods might actually be draining your energy, slowing your circulation, and quietly weakening your joints and muscles over time. See, not every nut is created equal. Some truly nourish your heart, your brain, and your bones. Others, despite all the marketing hype, can increase inflammation, upset your digestion, and even make it harder for your body to stay strong as you age. According to research from Harvard Health, nearly 7 out of 10 adults over 60 are eating the wrong kinds of nuts every single day. And most have no idea. The damage doesn't happen overnight. It builds up silently year after year until fatigue, stiffness, or memory fog start to feel normal. But it doesn't have to be that way. In today's video, I'm going to help you tell the difference once and for all. And together we'll explore the 4 kinds of nuts you should eat daily to restore your strength, memory, and vitality after 60, and the 4 you should absolutely avoid, because they can trigger inflammation and slow down circulation. Before we dive in, I'd love to hear from you. How old are you? And do you think your current diet might include some of these wrong nuts? Share your thoughts in the comments below. My team and I read every one of them. Thank you for joining me here on Senior Health Tips, Healthy Aging. Grab a glass of water, get comfortable, and let's get started. Now let's talk about what really matters. The nuts that actually help your body heal, strengthen, and stay young from the inside out. Because not every nut is the enemy. In fact, some of them are powerful allies that can boost your energy, protect your heart, and even sharpen your memory. And here's the good part. You don't need expensive supplements or complicated diets. Sometimes it starts with something as simple as choosing the right handful of nuts each day. So let's begin with the first one on our list. Small, powerful, and surprisingly effective. Number 4. Brazil nuts. You might not believe it, but this one little nut could completely change the way you feel when you wake up in the morning. Most people over 60 think fatigue, stiffness, and low energy are just part of aging, but they're often signs that your body is missing something small yet vital. That's where Brazil nuts come in. They're one of nature's richest sources of selenium, a trace mineral that helps your cells create energy and keeps your muscles working properly. Think of selenium as the spark plug for your body's engine. It helps your cells recharge so you can move, think, and feel more alive throughout the day. I once worked with a 65-year-old gentleman named Robert. He'd been waking up tired, with weak legs and constant muscle cramps. Nothing seemed to help. Until we added just one Brazil nut to his breakfast routine. Within 30 days, he told me, "Doc, I don't feel like I'm running on empty anymore." His balance improved, his energy came back, and even his mood lifted. And it's not just a story. According to a study from the National Institute on Aging, selenium plays a critical role in maintaining mitochondrial function, the tiny power plants inside your cells that keep you energized. Low selenium levels are directly linked to fatigue, muscle weakness, and even slower recovery after exercise or injury. Here's the good news. You don't need a handful. Just one Brazil nut after breakfast is usually enough to meet your daily selenium needs. But be careful. These nuts are potent. 2 a day is the absolute max. So if Brazil nuts help you regain your strength and vitality, the next nut on our list does something equally important. It helps your blood flow better, especially if you often struggle with cold hands and feet. Number 3. Pistachios. Did you know that just a small handful of pistachios a day could help warm up your feet within a week? It sounds simple, but for many people over 60, that little change can mean the difference between feeling tired and feeling alive again. You see, pistachios are more than just a tasty snack. They're a quiet powerhouse for your blood flow. They're rich in flavonoids, potassium, and healthy fats. Three key nutrients that work together to open up your blood vessels, support nitric oxide production, and reduce inflammation in the arteries. That's what helps oxygen and nutrients travel smoothly through your body, especially to your legs, hands, and brain. A recent study published by the American Heart Association found that seniors who added pistachios to their diet for just 4 weeks improved blood vessel flexibility and circulation efficiency without any medication. That's pretty amazing, right? Sometimes the best medicine is already in your kitchen. But here's something most people don't know. Timing makes a huge difference. If you often feel tired in the afternoon, try having a small handful of pistachios around that time. Their natural mix of protein and good fats gives you a slow, steady release of energy and prevents that heavy fatigue that hits after lunch. Many of my patients say they no longer need that second cup of coffee once they make this switch. To get the most benefit, choose 1 ounce of unsalted, dry roasted pistachios. That's about 30 pieces. And enjoy them mid-morning or in the afternoon. Avoid the salted versions, as too much sodium can counteract the circulation benefits you're trying to gain. When your blood flows freely, everything changes. Your legs feel lighter, your mind feels clearer, and your energy lasts longer throughout the day. And if you're worried about muscle loss or weakness, don't go anywhere, because the next nut on our list may completely surprise you. Number 2. Peanuts. You might not expect it, but the most ordinary nut on the shelf hides a secret that can help you stay strong longer than any gym routine. That's right, humble peanuts. Affordable, familiar, and often overlooked, yet they provide one of the most powerful combinations of nutrients your body needs after 60. Here's why. Peanuts deliver a steady mix of plant-based protein, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates. Together, they work like a natural energy stabilizer, preventing the blood sugar spikes and crashes that make you feel drained halfway through the day. Instead of those short bursts of energy followed by fatigue, peanuts release fuel slowly, keeping your body balanced and your mind alert. But there's something deeper going on inside your muscles. Something called anabolic resistance. As we age, our muscles become less responsive to protein. In other words, even if you eat enough, your body doesn't use it as efficiently for repair and growth. That's why after 60, you may notice slower recovery or more soreness from simple activities like climbing stairs or gardening. The good news? The amino acids in peanuts help bridge that gap, supporting muscle repair and preserving strength with consistent use. Here's a simple way to get it right. Enjoy 1/4 cup of unsalted dry roasted peanuts between meals, ideally mid-morning or mid-afternoon. That small serving provides enough protein to support your muscles without overloading your digestion. And here's a little science-backed insight. Several studies show that the plant protein in peanuts helps regulate insulin naturally. It keeps your blood sugar steady while also lowering the risk of energy crashes. Think of it as your body's way of staying in gear all day long, without needing extra snacks or caffeine. So the next time you reach for a snack, skip the sugary bar. A small handful of peanuts might just be your new secret weapon for lasting energy and muscle health. And if your muscles are already strong but your joints tend to ache or cramp at night, our next nut will help loosen that stiffness and bring back comfort while you rest. Number 1. Almonds. Don't underestimate the power of the almond. It's nature's own magnesium charger, and chances are your body has been running low for years without you realizing it. That little crunch packs one of the most essential minerals your muscles crave after 60. Magnesium is what keeps your muscles relaxed, your nerves calm, and your joints moving freely. When you don't get enough, you might feel those nighttime cramps, the kind that wake you up at 2 a.m., or the stiffness in your hands when you first get out of bed. But here's the magic. Just a handful of almonds a day can quietly help turn that around. Take Mary, a 70-year-old woman from Arizona. For years, she dealt with painful leg cramps every night. Nothing seemed to work. Then she started soaking a small handful of almonds overnight and eating them every morning. Within just 3 weeks, her cramps had dropped by nearly 90%. She didn't change her medication, her diet, or her lifestyle, just added almonds. Sometimes, it's the simplest changes that bring the biggest relief. Science agrees. A 2023 Harvard study found that older adults who ate almonds daily had a 23% lower risk of muscle imbalance and weakness. That's not just a number. That's strength, balance, and confidence in every step you take. If you want the best results, here's a simple trick. Soak your almonds for 8 hours before eating. It softens the nut, releases enzymes, and helps your body absorb magnesium more efficiently. Think of it as giving your body a clean, natural recharge. No pills, no side effects, just real food doing its job. So next time you feel a twinge in your leg or a stiffness in your joints, skip the sports drink or supplement bottle. Reach for a few soaked almonds instead. They might just be the small, quiet warrior your muscles and joints have been waiting for. But a quick word of caution. Not every nut on the shelf is senior-friendly. Some are packed with salt, oils, and additives that work against your heart and circulation. And that's exactly what we'll uncover in the next part. The nuts you might want to avoid after 60. Number 4. Macadamia nuts. They look small, rich, and innocent. But macadamia nuts can quietly make your digestive system work twice as hard. Sure, they're buttery and taste amazing, but here's what most people don't realize. They're extremely high in fat, even compared to other nuts. And when your body slows down with age, that extra fat doesn't just disappear. It lingers, putting stress on your liver, gallbladder, and digestive tract. After 60, your metabolism naturally drops by about 2 to 3% every decade. That might not sound like much, but it means your body burns fewer calories and takes longer to process heavy foods. Now imagine adding a handful of macadamias, with almost 90% of their calories coming from fat. It's like asking your body to carry an extra backpack uphill every day. The CDC reports that nearly 1/3 of older adults in the U.S. struggle with some form of digestive slowdown, bloating, reflux, or discomfort after meals. Macadamia nuts, while rich in good fats, can easily tip that balance from healthy to heavy. For some, they trigger mild inflammation, making the gut feel sluggish and the stomach feel full long after eating. If you've ever noticed that uncomfortable heaviness after snacking on macadamias, it's not your imagination. It's your digestive system asking for a break. And while you don't have to banish nuts entirely, moderation and smart swaps make all the difference. Try soaking a few almonds overnight. They're lighter, gentler on digestion, and packed with magnesium to support muscle and nerve health. Or reach for fresh, refrigerated walnuts. They offer omega-3 fats that actually reduce inflammation instead of adding to it. Remember, not every superfood works the same for every body, especially after 60. Your system changes, your metabolism changes, and what once felt healthy can suddenly feel heavy. So next time you see that golden macadamia sitting in a fancy mix, pause for a second. Your stomach and your scale might thank you later. Because even the healthiest-looking foods can become silent troublemakers when your body simply doesn't need the extra load. And speaking of that, even a nut praised for boosting memory can backfire if you don't know this one crucial detail. Number 3. Walnuts. Most people think walnuts are a brain booster. And they are, but only when they're fresh. If they've been sitting in your pantry for weeks or months, what you think is a smart snack could quietly be doing the opposite. Here's why. Walnuts are rich in omega-3 fats, one of the best nutrients for your brain, memory, and mood. But these oils are also incredibly fragile. The moment walnuts are exposed to air, heat, or sunlight, those healthy fats begin to oxidize. And once oxidation starts, it turns those beneficial oils into something harmful, compounds that can increase inflammation, cloud your thinking, and even contribute to memory decline. Think about it like this. Fresh walnut oil nourishes your brain cells, while rancid oil slowly irritates them. It's the same nut, just stored differently, with two completely different outcomes. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition and Aging found that older adults who consumed oxidized fats regularly were more likely to report fatigue, brain fog, and mild forgetfulness. That's not age, that's chemistry working against you. If you buy walnuts, always store them in the refrigerator. And once the bag is opened, aim to finish them within 2 weeks. If they smell even slightly bitter or off, toss them. It's not worth the risk. Another smart move: get your omega-3s from cleaner, more stable sources. Wild-caught salmon, sardines, or even algae-based omega-3 supplements offer the same brain-boosting power without the risk of oxidation. And remember, your brain thrives on freshness. Not just in thought, but in food. Choosing the right kind of fat, stored the right way, can make the difference between feeling sharp and feeling sluggish. So yes, walnuts can help you stay mentally strong, but only if they're treated with care. Because a good nut gone bad doesn't just lose its flavor, it can quietly turn against your health. And speaking of that, the next nut might look innocent and sweet, but it can send your blood sugar soaring, especially if you're managing diabetes. Number 2. Pecans. If you're buying pecans from the supermarket, there's an 80% chance you're not just eating nuts. You're eating sugar, syrup, and oxidized oils disguised as something healthy. They look delicious. They smell amazing. But those glazed, roasted, or honey-coated pecans are a metabolic trap, especially for anyone over 60. Here's what's really happening. When pecans are roasted in vegetable oil or coated with syrup, their natural oils become damaged. Those oils oxidize, and that oxidation creates tiny compounds that increase inflammation in your body, the very thing you're trying to avoid. Add sugar into the mix, and your blood glucose spikes faster than you think. Let's put that into perspective. Raw, natural pecans have a glycemic index of about 10. Almost negligible. But once they're candied or roasted in syrup, that number can jump to 40 or even higher. That means a handful of sweet pecans can affect your blood sugar just like eating a cookie. I remember a patient, Martha, 68 years old, living with type 2 diabetes. She was proud of her healthy snacks, a small bag of glazed pecans every afternoon. But her blood sugar kept creeping up, even though her meals hadn't changed. When we switched her to raw, unsalted pecans, just 2 tablespoons a day, her glucose levels stabilized within 2 weeks. She felt calmer, had fewer cravings, and her evening fatigue nearly disappeared. The secret isn't to avoid pecans, it's to choose the right ones. Go for raw, organic, non-roasted pecans stored in a cool, dry place. They still provide those heart-healthy fats and antioxidants, without the sugar crash or inflammatory oils. And here's a quick tip. If the pecans shine unnaturally, feel sticky, or smell too sweet, they've been altered. Nature's version is subtle, not flashy. So the next time you see that tempting bag labeled caramel pecans or sweet roasted mix, remember, that sweetness is not your friend. It's your blood sugar's enemy in disguise. And speaking of enemies, the next nut on our list might surprise you. A silent inflammation trigger that almost every senior consumes without realizing it. Number 1. Cashews. Most cashews you buy have already been bathed in salt. Not once, but twice. Before they even reach your kitchen shelf. They may look innocent, smooth, and buttery, but behind that creamy texture hides something your heart and joints may not thank you for. Here's the truth most people don't know. Raw cashews are actually toxic before processing. They contain a natural compound called urushiol, the same irritating oil found in poison ivy. To make them safe to eat, manufacturers steam and rinse them, sometimes multiple times, in hot saline solutions. But many brands don't stop there. They take those once cleaned cashews, fry them in industrial seed oils, and then coat them with even more salt to enhance flavor. The result? A nutrient-rich nut turned into a sodium and oxidized fat bomb. That combination, sodium plus damaged oil, can quietly raise blood pressure, irritate blood vessels, and worsen joint inflammation. According to a 2022 study by the National Institutes of Health, adults over 60 who consistently consumed more than 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day had a 41% higher risk of hypertension and fluid retention. And when that happens, your knees swell, your ankles ache, and your energy crashes. I remember one of my patients, Robert, 72 years old. He loved salted cashews, said they were his little guilty pleasure. But after years of mild swelling and rising blood pressure, we switched him to soaked almonds and unsalted pistachios instead. Within 3 weeks, his energy improved, his joints felt lighter, and his blood pressure numbers finally dropped below 130. If you love cashews, you don't have to cut them out completely. Just choose them raw and unsalted, in moderation. Better yet, rotate them with almonds soaked overnight or plain dry roasted pistachios. Those tiny changes can make a powerful difference. So the next time you reach for that glossy bag of salted cashews at the store, pause for a second. What looks like a healthy snack might just be the reason your blood pressure and joint pain aren't improving. And now that you know which nuts to embrace and which to avoid, let's take a quick look at how to combine them wisely to rebuild your strength and energy after 60. How to combine nuts the right way after 60. When it comes to eating nuts, balance is everything, especially after 60. A simple rule I often share with my patients is this: 1 part nuts, 3 parts vegetables, and 1 part protein. That's the sweet spot. It keeps your blood sugar stable, supports your muscles, and gives your body steady energy throughout the day. Here's how it works. When you eat nuts together with veggies, especially leafy greens, the fiber helps slow down how fast your body absorbs the natural fats and sugars. And when you add a little protein, like a boiled egg or a few spoonfuls of Greek yogurt, something magical happens. Your body absorbs vitamin E and magnesium from the nuts far more efficiently. Those 2 nutrients work hand in hand. Vitamin E protects your cells, while magnesium helps your muscles and nerves stay strong. If you need a quick snack idea, try what I call the Smart Snack Plan. A small handful of almonds or pistachios, a few slices of cucumber or celery, and a bit of lean protein, maybe chicken or cottage cheese. It's simple, balanced, and keeps you full without that heavy feeling. Eating smart after 60 isn't about restriction, it's about combination. When you pair foods the right way, your body thanks you with more strength, clearer focus, and the kind of lasting energy that makes every day feel just a little lighter. Signs you're eating the wrong kind of nuts. Sometimes, your body tells you the truth before any doctor does. If you often feel bloated after snacks, wake up with stiff joints, or hit that mid-afternoon wall where your brain just fogs up, that might not be just aging. It could be your nuts talking back. Many people don't realize this, but the oils, salt, and preservatives in certain roasted or flavored nuts can trigger inflammation, digestive issues, and even fatigue. It's your body's way of saying, "Hey, I'm not okay with this." So how do you know for sure? Here's a simple 3-step check you can do at home. Step 1. Cut out all nuts for 3 days. Let your system rest. Step 2. Slowly reintroduce one type: almonds, walnuts, pistachios. and notice how you feel within a few hours. Step 3. Keep a small journal. Note when you feel lighter, clearer, or more energized. I remember one of my patients, Margaret, 67 years old. She loved cashews, but they constantly left her joints aching and her energy drained. When she switched to raw walnuts and soaked almonds, everything changed. Her mornings felt easier, her focus sharper, her smile brighter. Sometimes healing isn't about adding more. It's about listening and giving your body exactly what it's been asking for all along. You don't have to change your entire diet overnight. Just start with one nut a day. Because real health after 60 isn't built on grand plans. It's built on the small, quiet choices you make every single day. When you pick the right nuts, you're not just feeding your body. You're protecting your heart, your memory, your energy. You're giving your future self the gift of one more walk around the block, one more afternoon playing with your grandkids, one more morning where you wake up and actually feel good. So start simple. One handful, one change, one better choice, and let those little steps carry you toward a stronger, brighter tomorrow. If this video helped you see your health in a new light, share it with a friend who's walking the same path, and tell me in the comments, which nut will you start with? I read every message, and I'd love to hear your story, because at the end of the day, it's not just about living longer, it's about living better. Together.